What's going on YouTube? Dave back again, and today I have something kind of special. As I've alluded to, I have a bunch of resin conversion kits that I just got in to review and build, and this just happens to be one of them. This one is from Maniac Studios. This is for the Double Zeta Verkaw. Taking a look at the box, you have some nice foil on there, Maniac Model Studio on the side. On the end, there's a lot of glare, but there you get a picture of the kit itself. On the back side, Maniac Model Studio. You've got the blog, you've got Weibo, you've got Facebook and Tabeo to be able to look them up. Now, one thing I thought was interesting that I ended up finding out is that Maniac Studio actually only does limited runs, and I think that Infinite Dimensions and others are doing the same. So that is kind of cool, but kind of sucky for those that maybe can't afford it, maybe later on down the road, and then you're having to pay scalpers prices, or you know, that trying to pry it out of the hands of someone in the closet. Now, this I ended up getting from Abby LC, aka Abby Lee on Facebook. She's one of my go-to people for these resin conversion kits. She usually gets them first, and I love ordering from her. DHL, less than 2 days, and it is in my hand all the way from Hong Kong to America. So let's pull this out and let you see. Now, real quick, I want to say, and I will probably bring this up in every one of the videos that I end up making, compared to a couple years ago of how companies were boxing these, they were just in like cardboard boxes and kind of janky and everything. Companies have really stepped up their game. Now, this one is not quite the same quality as an Infinite Dimensions or a Anchor T, but this one is still very nice. I appreciate good packaging, especially if it's just sitting on the shelf for a while. You know, you just feel like you have bought something quality when you ended up getting it. And I really appreciate that fact. Now, on each end, you get this holographic Maniac Studios sticker to show that it hasn't been pilfered with or anything. I like that. This one was loose, and that is because this actually comes in 2 sets. This actually comes as a body kit and then the backpack kit, and I just had Abby put both things in one box just to consolidate, since I ordered several things to cut down on shipping costs. So, but when you end up getting it, it will be sealed unless you get the both sets together and you ask her to do the same. Pulling the tab, flip open one side, flip open the other. Here is your box. Now we're just going to take a look real quick. So here is the instruction booklet. You get 2 packs of CJ Hobby metal detail parts, and these are going to be 2mm vent pipes. You're going to get some photo etching. You're going to get a couple bags with some thrusters in there, and 3 bags of parts, and we're done. That's it. That's the end of the video. Not. Okay, so let's get into this. All right, so one of the things I have been super impressed with these newer companies that have been coming out and producing these is they are actually making instruction booklets, not just, you know, fold open pamphlets. I really appreciate that. Plus, it's nice to have something that would stick up on your wall, or I actually have a binder where I stick every instruction manual for every kit that I have ever built, and I've actually moved on to a second binder. But taking a look at the instruction manual here, Mobile Suit MSZ-010 Double Zeta Gundam Master Grade 1100, modeling by Maniac Studios. Taking a look here, now everything is in Chinese, so you know, you can use the Google app to translate it. The shots that they ended up doing for both the promo and these are super fantastic. I think I'm going to do mine like this, just very clean, no weathering or anything. I really like the look of that. So moving on, you've got the head. They do the layout of the parts for the head. They've got them all numbered, showing you how it ends up going together here. Now, the one thing that I would recommend for the companies is, yes, they show you how it goes together here, but they're not really showing you how to use the stock and how to add them on to the stock parts of the kit. I really wish that they had. That would make it a lot easier for maybe newer people that are really wanting to get into this. That would make it a lot easier for them. Moving on, for the body, you've got all the parts for the body here. Now notice the way that they ended up doing it is like they take a big outside shot and then they zoom it in and number separate for the section. So if you notice in here, there's parts for the head in here, but they're not numbered. They've only numbered the parts for the body, which go into here. And this is what it's going to look like when you add in the photo etch and all the little parts and everything. So you are going to have to kind of play it by ear on how these end up going together. Moving on to the shoulders. Now, all the ones with the little, you know, orange stickers on there, those are not for this part. Those are for this section over here, and they just did that. So like I said, they laid out the parts and then they're crossing off what parts don't get used for the shoulder, but over here they're crossing out the parts for the shoulder and only showing the parts for the arm. But the details that get added on here versus the stock one are just sweet. Now moving on to the legs, and there are a lot of parts that end up going on the legs, and tell me that these details do not look 110% better than the stock plain ones. I had zero interest in the master grade double Zeta. I am not a big fan of the suits that transform into planes and stuff, but when I saw this conversion, I was like, oh, I have to have that. So I got it. Now, I think they made a mistake because they have this labeled as chest, but this is for the waist. This is the waist unit. So yeah, keep that in mind. Sometimes they make mistakes with that, and that is okay. Now, I think, if I am correct, that this one, if you got the pre-order version, it has a big back skirt, and I think I got the big back skirt. Taking a look at the feet on here, here's the parts for the feet, and these are just so much more detailed than the stock ones. Here's for the backpack on here, a lot more details, a lot of photo etching and stuff that go on there. It just looks so much better. For the weapon, there's just a few changes that they ended up making to the double beam cannon. And then here is the photo etching for the body. It does come with a sheet of brass and then some metal parts on here, and I believe the brass ones, if you look, I think they go right here on the inside of the legs, which I think is really cool. So yeah, this is going to show you where the parts end up going. You want to glue them on. One thing I will recommend, make sure and get yourself some Mr. Metal primer and wash them with something like alcohol or even acetone to make sure and get all the body oils and stuff off of them. And then use the Mr. Metal primer, just brush it on, and then prime your metal pieces as is. Otherwise, the paint's not going to end up sticking to it. You're going to end up getting peeling, and it's just going to be a bad time all the way around. Then taking a look on a continuation of where the parts get added on, and then you do get some shots on here, though not very many. Like I said, I wish there had been more, but just showing you where to take some of the parts from your stock one and add them onto the resin pieces, and just showing you some of the ones where you have to hack up the original part to get those in there. And I will show you those step by step as I get through them. There's the back of the instruction manual. It does come with 2 sheets of water slides, so that is a lot of decals, but it gives you a lot of options. You have some light ones and then you have some dark ones, so I like having the option of doing whichever that I want to do. All right now I want to show you the photo etched parts. Here is one of them. This is for the backpack, and you will notice versus others where you have to clip them out, these are actually already pre-cut. They've got a sticky side on one, and then this side is, I can't remember, I don't want to peel. So this side is just static, the other side is sticky, and you can just basically cut, peel off, stick onto your piece as you glue it on, and then peel this off. That is so much better than having to worry about cutting and then filing and bending and doing all of that. And you can see there's a lot of little bend joints that are on here. Now with the instructions, they kind of leave that up to your discretion, and you're going to have to play around with that honestly to get them exactly where you want them. Personally, I would go online and find the highest resolution photos that you can for this kit, just so that you get it right. And this is for the body, or as they named it, baddie. This is a lot of vents, a lot of little details. This just looks super crisp and clean. Here is another set for the backpack. And here is another set here, and I can't tell, that almost looks like a little bit of rust right there. I'm not for sure. I don't want to peel this off and ruin it yet, but yeah, here we are with this one, trying to show you the detail but without all the glare. Nice, crisp, and another baddie. And last, the photo etch is going to be some brass. Next up, you get 2 little baggies with some thruster bells. And like I said, you get 2 of these CJ Hobby. These are 2mm vents. Now, I am actually not going to crack these out of the bag yet. I may take out a piece or 2. I will show you guys as I end up doing the build on here. So don't fret on that. I just don't want to end up losing any pieces and getting any pieces out of place. So these are the pieces for the kit itself. And from my eye, with all the resin that I've ended up working on, this is a little bit different yellowish resin than that I'm used to, but it looks very good. There are a few little places that are going to need to be cleaned up. Keys do not look too bad. The panel lines on here, some of them you might have to run a scraper through just to clear up, but not bad at all. But of course, if you've worked on resin, you don't really know until you start working on it. Baggie number 2, these are going to be feet parts over here. So yeah, look nice and crisp. We'll have to see how they end up going together. There's the new V-fin right there. A lot of little parts on here. They're all separated. Panels. The details look really, really good though. I like how they ended up doing it. It just looks really good. Here's for the, are these for the shoulder? Yeah. So those vents look really good. Probably need some truing up, no big deal. Better than having to do it by scratch. And then here's the last baggie right here. And I'm looking over at the monitor and I'm noticing these are coming out a lot more yellow than they actually are. If you guys are used to the normal tan resin, these are just more yellow. So more panels, more panels. I don't see a single piece broken. I do need to sit and open these up and just count, make sure all the pieces are here. That way if there's any discrepancy, but everything seems to be here. I am not seeing any chips, shards, anything like that. So very well packaged, very well just done. I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, looks all good. I am eager to show you guys, but of course I do have to kind of build up and I do have to do some research to find out exactly what parts are left on the Zeta, what parts are left off, all of that. So there you go, boys and girls. This is the Maniac Studio 1/100 scale Gundam Double Zeta Verca resin conversion kit, again from Maniac Studios and provided by Abby Lee or Abby LC on eBay. I will leave links to both places down below if you want to go check her out. I will be honest, once you get in contact with her, if you are interested in buying from her, ask her for her WeChat. It is much easier to get hold of her through WeChat than it is through Facebook, because through Facebook you have to use a VPN and you can't use your phone, things like that. So it is much easier to get hold of her through WeChat. But get her permission, she'll send you a request, and then you can go from there. I end up having everything that I order from her being sent by either DHL or EMS. DHL actually ends up being cheaper and faster. I usually get my packages within 2 days from Hong Kong, so you can't beat that. Like I said, I will leave links down in the description on how to contact her and check out her wares. I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, YouTube.